A few months ago, this video of Gary Brecka went viral on TikTok with 3.7 million views and over 3,000 comments.
I don't blend fruits because you'll quadruple the glycemic profile. I mean, the difference between a banana that you eat and a banana you put in the blender is night and day.
In the video, he gives an explanation that sounds very scientific for why blending fruit instantly makes it less healthy. Pretty soon, a lot of prominent nutrition and health creators and influencers weighed in on the claims that he made, sharing the truth about what actually happens in your body when you blend fruit. Surprisingly, Gary responded and he acknowledged that he was wrong. But the problem with social media is that once something goes viral, there's no way to take back the impact that that specific piece of content has had in a lot of people. In this video, I'm sharing exactly what happened in this situation, including the full video of Gary's claims and my perspective as a dietitian on fruit smoothies, which isn't as simple as labeling them as healthy or unhealthy. I'm also going to show you exactly what Gary said when he was called out for being wrong and what has happened ever since then. So keep watching for the full story. Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I'm really excited to bring you another reaction video today. In this series, I take viral TikTok or Instagram videos about nutrition and weight loss, and I tell you what I really think of them based on the latest research and my 12 years of experience as a dietitian. If you want to check out any other videos in my reaction series, you can find some of my favorites, including another reaction video that I had to Gary Brecka, linked in the description below. Now, before we get into today's video, just a quick intro if you're new here. My name is Andres Ayesta. I work with busy parents and professionals to help them improve their nutrition, upgrade their habits, and lose weight in the process. Now, the reason I make this reaction videos is that there is so much nutrition misinformation out there on social media, and my goal is really to help you cut through a lot of the nonsense and noise in the diet industry and help you reach your goals with a science-based or evidence-based approach. If you're interested in that, make sure you hit that subscribe button because I release a new video every single week. Now let's jump back in and watch this viral Gary Brecka clip together and we'll break it down. Let's see.
I don't blend fruits because you'll quadruple the glycemic profile. I mean, the difference between a banana that you eat and a banana you put in the blender is night and day.
What?
4 times the rate of blood sugar increase.
By putting a banana in a blender?
Putting any fruit in a blender.
Why?
Because first of all, you disperse the fiber that's in the fruit. So if you take a banana and you puree it and then you mix it with milk or nut milk or something like that, you're basically quadrupling its impact on blood sugar, the glycemic index, which is the rate at which blood sugar rises. And the truth is, blood sugar is the root of all evil. Yeah. It really is.
Blood sugar is the root of all evil. All right, so let's break this down. Many of you who have come across my channel have maybe seen my other reaction videos that I had to Gary Brecka because it's my most popular video at the time that I'm recording this. So you may already know who he is, but I'll give you a quick intro. Basically, Gary refers to himself as a biohacker and a functional medicine expert. And his education is basically a bachelor's degree in biology. Now, last time I talked about his credentials and compared them to mine, I got a lot of heat in the comments, probably from a lot of Brecka's fans. Honestly, it's not really about his credentials for me anymore. It's just the information that he shares, which can be extremely misleading. Qualifications are not everything. I'll give you that. But really what I want to do here is look at the research behind a claim that he's making and base my responses to this video on just the message and the research rather than specifically attacking this guy or anything about him. So the first thing Gary says in the video is that he doesn't blend fruits because it will quadruple the glycemic profile. I released a video last week on a deep dive into blood sugars and glucose spikes, so I'm gonna link that in the description if you wanna learn more. But essentially, how blood sugar works is when you eat carbohydrate-rich foods, or any type of carbohydrate foods, it doesn't have to be high carbohydrates or low carbohydrates, your body breaks them down into glucose, which is the basic unit that all carbs typically tend to be broken down to. So it can be used by your body for energy. This glucose goes into your bloodstream, and when that levels rise, or when your blood sugar levels tend to rise, then there's a release in insulin. Now the thing about fruit, however, is that not all fruit is created equal, and it contains mostly fructose, most of them. Some of them have lower levels of fructose, higher levels of glucose. It really depends on the type of fruit. Fructose is a type of monosaccharide. Fructose does not cause a high blood sugar response the way other type of carbohydrates do, and therefore does not have the same insulin heavy response. This is something that a lot of times people do not explain well. Now, certain foods have different effects on your blood sugar, and these effects can be ranked according to something known as the glycemic index, which Gary mentions in the video. For example, simple carbs like candy have a high glycemic index, which means it will cause a large increase in your blood sugar levels when you consume them. So your blood sugar will quickly spike and then will drop, and you get a burst of energy followed by feeling tired been sluggish, and many people will find that they'll have food cravings as well. On the other hand, if you eat foods that have more fiber and protein, they're going to be digested a lot more slowly, and you'll avoid the quick increase in your blood sugar levels. So we'd say that these foods have a low glycemic index. Now, there is an extra concept beyond glycemic index that we won't have time to cover in detail today, which is the concept or the term of glycemic load. Glycemic index looks at the effect of a specific food on your blood sugars, while glycemic load is looking at a specific amounts that require to cause a specific response in your blood sugar level. So sometimes glycemic load is going to be a better indicator compared to glycemic index. But again, that's going to be a separate conversation for a different day. But what Gary's claiming here is that blending fruit will cause your blood sugar to rise 4 times as much as if you eat the whole fruit. And he gives an explanation for why blended fruits cause larger spikes in blood sugar that might sound somewhat reasonable to someone who's just scrolling through TikTok and not doing any additional research on the subject. But to be honest, when I hear talking about this in this specific video, he doesn't even sound convinced of the things that he's actually saying. And the reality is that that would make sense because there's no research to back up what he was saying. And in fact, researchers have tested the exact thing that he's talking about and have found the opposite effect on blood sugar when blending fruits. This study, for example, that I'm putting here on the screen found that actually blending fruits like apples and blackberries and it lowered blood sugar responses compared to whole fruit. So the complete opposite. This other study looked at high glycemic fruit like mango, and guess what? And I quote exactly what it says in this study. Consumption of nutrient extracted mixed fruit result in a significant lower of the glycemic index or glucose response compared to whole mixed fruit. Even an extension of that study, now looking at an obese population, found the same things. And I quote, the current study indicates that nutrition extraction, which is blending of raspberries and passion fruit mixed with mango, lowers the glycemic index, not only in the healthy weight individuals, but also in those with obesity, and supports further investigation into the potential for nutrient extraction or blending to enable increased fruit intake without causing a high glycemic response. Now, with all that said, there's always going to be pros and cons of things. There's one potential drawback to fruit smoothies beyond the impact on your blood sugar. Some research has shown that whole fruit tends to increase your feelings of satiety compared to blended or pureed fruit. And in general, liquids tend to be less satiating. If you like smoothies, and you want to blend your fruit, you can do so. But if you're finding sometimes that you're eating a lot more than usual because you're just hungrier faster, the first step that you can try to do to increase the satiety from your fruit smoothie is to add in sources of healthy fats. Think like nut butters or avocados, along with protein, maybe from Greek yogurt or a protein powder, and maybe some extra fiber from vegetables, chia seeds, or something like that, for example. All these additional nutrients will help you feel fuller for longer. On top of that, it's really important to find really what works for you. If you always feel hungry again after a smoothie, try pairing that smoothie with something like a solid food on the side, such as a piece of toast or maybe some chopped veggies, whatever you want to do. Now let's get back into the video. I'm not the first health professional to react to Gary's claims. One of the best reactions was from Dr. Ids, who shared some of the research that I just explained. Let's take a look at what his response was.
I got tagged in this a lot and Gary follows me, so I hope he updates his view on this. Time school. So his first claim is that blending fruit quadruples its impact on blood sugar, and that applies to any fruit. Well, this is quickly disproven because we actually have controlled trials on this. This study took 20 healthy college students and tested what happens to their blood sugar when they compared whole apples and blackberries versus blending them. They found that blending the fruit led to a 15-point reduction in blood sugar response compared to consuming the whole fruit. And no, it wasn't funded by Big Berry. The irony is, he said blending the fruit increases blood sugar because you're dispersing the fiber in fruit. But the researchers suggest that's exactly why it lowers blood sugar, because you're dispersing the dietary fiber from the seeds around the drink, which lowers blood sugar. Lastly, he states that blood sugar is the root of all evil, but here's an important point. Chronically elevated blood sugar over many years does damage your organs. But that's very different to transient rises from eating or drinking your fruit. Don't be scared of physiologically normal responses to food, and remember to fact check statements made online. Class dismissed.
Blenders are pissed. It's honestly pretty rare that these reactions or critique videos get a response from the person who originally created them, especially when that person has millions of followers and has built their following on that controversy. But surprisingly, Gary Brecka actually responded to Dr. Ids on this video with a comment. Take a look at what he said. Now, I think it's great that he acknowledged his mistake. As I said, this is pretty rare. Unfortunately, I think there was some follow-through that was missing here. As far as I know, he didn't really repost this video of Dr. Ids acknowledging the fact that he made a mistake, and he has not removed the viral clip where he's making the incorrect claim. So it's still being shown to more and more people across TikTok every single day who might take it at face value. Overall, keeping your blood sugar levels relatively steady and avoiding big spikes, it is important for your health. And prolonged high blood sugar levels will have negative impacts, like Dr. Itz also said. But Gary's statement that blood sugar is the root of all evil, it's a massive simplification. And all he's doing by saying that is fear-mongering and creating controversy, which is, of course, what gets him more views and builds his following. Sometimes it can be hard to tell whether somebody is spreading nutrition misinformation, especially when they're making claims with so much confidence. But the alarm bells should always start going off for you if you hear something making black or white statements about certain foods being good or bad. Actual experts in nutrition are never going to demonize a single food because they understand that nutrition is complex. You have to look at the complete picture of someone's diet to know whether they're eating in a way that supports their health or not. So I encourage you to enjoy a fruit smoothie if you want one. Thank you so much for tuning into this video, and I hope that this helped clear out some of the confusion around this topic. Now, if you come across any other videos that you would like me to react to and you want me to kind of share my thoughts on, feel free to tag me on them or send me a message. On Instagram and TikTok is the best way to do that. Instagram at Andres Ayesta or on TikTok, Andres the Dietitian, and just let me know. Bye for now and see you in the next video.